Okay, welcome back into the pit. I'm Mike. That's Jason. We're going to talk about metal, and we're going to talk about some misconceptions that, let's say, the general public have about this genre of music.
Well, definitely
Because
something
there's a
that,
lot.
and something that I've had to deal with most of my life. You tell people metal, half
Yeah,
the thrill is just watching their reaction and all the things that go through their heads that come across with it. So, fun stuff.
yeah. You get labeled as a metalhead for a lot of things. So
So, we broke down a couple good topics to go through. We'll go through them quickly and see what we come up with. The first and most obviously one is that well, of course, we worship Satan. Who doesn't?
I
That's
mean, it's a requirement.
how can you listen to metal and not require, even though, let's see, one of the biggest and of the big four of the 80s, first words of one of their most popular songs is, "What do you mean I don't believe in God? I talk to him every day. Peace Sells" by Megadeth. I love throwing that at people right away. Boom, here. Never mind all the other bands that aren't necessarily God worshippers, but they seem to want to do good. That hardly seems satanic.
I mean, yeah, Slayer's also one of those
Slayer
that's
openly
been
admits
accused
that
of a
it's
lot of things.
they also openly admit they use the Kiss factor on it. They know it
Yeah.
sells, so they don't even hide it.
Yeah, God hates us all. Tom said, he's like, it just sounds good. The man's a Catholic.
So am I, and it's hard not to believe him in that song. But anyways, generally, most of the people I meet are not. However, though, I do have some black metal friends that are definitely satanic. But here's the kicker: they're not evil either. They don't even believe in God or Satan. They follow the actual satanic Bible, which tells them that none of that's real. So just
I
throw a
mean,
whole that into the works there.
um, yeah, where I'm coming from is it's just the thing that gets the reaction that you're rebelling against. And it sounds cool and it's
And
fun
the symbols
visuals.
look awesome. Look, wrong way. Look over there at your symbol, the demon head. Of course, you put a demon head. You're not worshiping the demon head. It's just a cool looking symbol.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I hope and assume, but anyways.
I worship nothing.
So, but my point is that a lot of these bands, as I pointed out last time, sing about doing good, accomplishing good. A lot of them sing about fighting evil, but there's always the satanic thing, and most of it's just falling on the black metal ones. That weird freak show that burnt down the churches, and a lot of that field.
And that happened in Norway and other places in Scandinavia from like Mayhem and that Varg
Yeah,
dude.
I
If you
know.
want
I
to
was
read
gonna
more
say
about
his name
him,
and realize that I'm gonna butcher it, and I don't
let's
care
call
enough
it
to learn
Varg.
it properly. Yeah, Varg works.
Yeah, people have been murdered, churches have been burned, all in the name of Satan through metal, and that's unfortunate.
That's a cop out. That's
It
what that
yeah,
is.
it did happen. But the actual like belief in Satan is it's not really a thing.
Heck,
You know,
even
you go through King
this
Diamond and
was
all
meant to
these
ward
people,
off
but
evil, according to Dio, who pretty
Dio,
much brought it into popularity. It wasn't to call on Satan; it was to ward off evil. So,
yeah.
but let's not
So
go down this topic too much because
we're in agreement.
it's
There
ridiculous.
are there are fun aspects of it, and then you look at something like Ghost, who I quite like. I don't know your feelings. We've never talked about Ghost,
I
but like
refuse to listen to
it's
them. I don't like their name.
I didn't I wasn't I'm not shocked by that. It's a good time. Also, I think you would like it because it's very sing along. Just say it.
Okay, maybe I'll give them a chance. I
Um,
do like sing along.
it's a show. They're putting on a
Of
show,
course.
and this satanic like image is part of it. That's all it is.
Besides, a lot of it also is like they misconstrue how many bands sing about the bad preacher that's in it for the money. Iron Maiden, Holy Smoke, Miracle Man by Ozzy Osbourne. It sounds like they're attacking the church. No, Slayer is attacking the church. The rest are actually attacking the money grubbing whores that work for or in the name of God. And yeah, you should hate those people.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
So not satanic.
So
Metal.
let's
There
go to
you
the
go.
next one because
Decided.
this one could be a topic that goes on forever. The next one I had was unintelligent.
Is metal unintelligent? Well, I say it
I
is
have a couple words
intelligent.
on that one.
Well,
But
go
sorry,
for it.
go on. Okay,
You
well,
go ahead.
I took violin for 6 years, Ukrainian dancing for 6 years. My highest mark in all of high school was musical keyboard recorder for 6 years. I was in choir. I was, music. I did musicals. Like I know how to read music. I know the I had to write my own music. I know that I am nowhere close to the level of these band members are actually just on the writing lyric sheets. It's almost borderline genius for some of these bands. And then I'm told unintelligent. And then I throw the lyrics at people. Go get me one of your pop singers and write about something so intelligent that most of the bands I listen to do, and they're worst of their worst songs.
Yeah,
I had a little bit to say.
Yeah, just rant over.
I'm done.
The political statements that a lot of metal makes. Megadeth's very political and anti-war. Lots of anti-war songs come from Metallica.
I love what Testament did on their Formation album. They had one song dedicated to how horrible the war is, and the next song dedicated to the troops. See, that's smart.
You can support the troops, but not the war.
So yep. See, you gotta love things like that.
But yeah, content-wise, I don't think you can say it's unintelligent. It's you just have to listen to it.
I say anyone who looks at the sheet music, look at the lyrics, come back to me then, because I'm sick of defending the intelligence. And then you got your party animals that obviously are where the whole rumors started, because go back to the original four. They were all smashed out of their minds for a very good chunk of their early careers. Possibly still to this day, but I can't confirm nor deny that anymore. Yeah, of course, many bands, it's the appeal.
Complexity in music, and not all of musicians that do any kind of music are classically trained, but some are and some aren't. I almost think it's more impressive to be able to play complex things with no training.
Oh, of course.
I think that's very interesting, that you can pick up this instrument and teach yourself how to do it.
But then I compare it to sports players. Some of them wouldn't have to do anything. Your naturals, your Wayne Gretzky's, your Michael Jordans, or who have yous. Please, even if they didn't have the training, I think they would still mop up the floor with everyone around them.
Well, I mean, everything.
I'm glad they had the training too, but
even being self-taught means a lot of work and a lot of effort. So you got to be intelligent to do that. So,
well, we'll go on to the next one then. Does metal make you angry, and do mosh pits incite bloodbaths? We kind of put a twofer on that one.
Bloodbath. Well, that's a good one.
I might be overkilling the words here, but well, why wouldn't I be?
Well, pits can be violent places, and people
not as violent as punk, which puts spikes in the drop kicks, and I've seen crazy stuff happen in punk pits that do not happen in my regular rock and roll, heavy metal, whatever mosh pits.
I mean, you can't really paint a brush over the entire every show you ever go to. If one genre is this, and every show.
No, but there was one point where I was going to a lot of those two specific genres. I was going to a lot of punk shows, and I was going to a lot of metal shows, and I very rarely went into the mosh pit of the punk shows I went to. I helped my buddies up, wipe up their blood, and they jump back in. I'll give them credit, but not for me.
I mean, the general rule in the pit is someone goes down, you pick them up.
You pick them up, of course. You try to hit shoulder to shoulder. You want to smash each other down, but you want to do it in a fun way that you hurt the guy a little bit, but not take him out for life.
Yeah, the point is that it's fun, and people are supposed to have fun, and that's how you do it, crashing and smashing into people.
And metal
I'm way too old for that shit now, but
of course. The only time I'll ever go in now is if Testament sings into the pit, because I have to do what I'm told, so I don't know if I can ever see Testament again.
my one rule, well, I haven't seen him in a few years, but I still do the Wall of Death for Lamb of God. Other than that,
everyone has their
that's just fun.
But the next part of it was metal make you mad. Let's not even go into this. Yes, it makes me mad. It's one of the reasons I love it. But it's more of an energy, not an angry. I can be all happy with that energy, or I can use it to make me angrier. Just like a lot of different things. It has a hard, intense speed, a sound to it that's dark. Obviously, it's going to bring some sort of emotional, stimuli to your brain.
For me, I don't see it as anger. I don't see metal as that. it's aggressive. That's the difference for me.
Have you ever heard a metal
Aggressive?
song?
Yeah,
They're pretty angry.
aggressive and angry are different. To me,
Well,
it's
no, and I'm
not.
going with they're pretty
Doesn't
angry. Some of them
well.
very
That's
so
you.
much so.
Doesn't make me angry. Doesn't make me violent. It makes me feel like I belong to something.
Oh,
That
well, yeah.
that I'm different, and that's okay. I've
And-
always been different,
but we don't.
a lot of metalheads do that too. And there's other people out there like me that want music that's different. That want something that's different, and this is where I feel belonging.
Oh, see, for me, a lot of it's just about the power it brings to me.
Well, that's cool too.
That
Whatever
can
it
fall
does
under
for
the
you.
aggression or the anger, or yeah. And as long as the community's not hugging me, I'm happy to be part of the community.
Yeah, for me, it's the difference between aggression and anger. You can have happy aggressive music for sure, and I think some people want to use it as an excuse, but they'd be using anything as an excuse for
Well, of
anger.
course.
Doesn't matter.
This is just an easy one to throw a label on.
Yeah, and then you come to all the negative influence of the Judas Priest getting sued for subliminal messaging, for making teenagers kill themselves, like all that kind of stuff. I don't buy it. It doesn't make me angry. It makes me feel happy. It makes me belong more than anything.
I like using it for when I'm angry, but like I said, I can use it to go to the gym, work out, be all happy about it too. So it's all how you use it for sure.
Yeah, anything can be an excuse. So,
although
metal in and of itself,
I have to admit,
excuse.
I've been to a lot of like different types of parties, but when I go to the hippie parties, almost nothing ever happens. I go to the punk parties, there's where actually the fights almost always break out. It's always those punks. And then I go to the metalheads where there's usually a mosh pit and something in the house gets broken. No one gets hurt, but something gets broken. So there's your level of, different types of rock and where they take you.
All right.
I don't know. I'm going from experience. Remember, all I have is the Toronto scene to go by and the different groups that came from here in the city. So the world, but I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is a worldwide, pretty close to how it went too. But I don't know. Just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not prepared to paint.
The other one was the inciting violence, which I think we covered in all that. Talented,
yeah, anything can cause violence.
Intelligence, so we can skip that one. So there's two last topics, and they're actually big ones because everyone knows that the metal community is surrounded or filled with white men, and chances are at this point there's a lot more old white men than anything else in the community. And I was doing a little bit of research on this today, and I just said, forget it. I'm going to go with my own experience. The only thing I found out so far was there's two bands that openly supported Black Lives Matter, and that was Black Sabbath, who even changed their Master of Reality t-shirts to Black Lives Matters t-shirts. I haven't seen it yet, but I just read this. And or Axl Rose specifically, but I still think he's trying to make up for making that horribly racist song "One in a Million." So, but those two bands, I'll give them credit. They openly back Black Lives Matter, right?
I mean, there's no excuse for that song. "One in a Million" is racist and homophobic, and it's not
just wrong in so many ways. But here's the other thing: is they're like when I was a teenager, it was mostly white guys, but there was actually a few different races that joined us. And here's the thing: we never really thought of it. It didn't even occur to us. They like our music. Nice. Why would we and that was the weird thing. Everyone, Body Count came out. We all went out and ran out and bought them. Didn't even think he's black. Oh no, should we not buy this? No, this is awesome. Turn it up. So the community here in Toronto is different, but we also did actually physically fight skinheads. They had their own version of metal. I don't even know any of their bands because I couldn't stand them. So I wasn't hanging out with them and listening to their metal music. Weirdly enough, it wasn't black metal. It sounded like weird German metal, if I remember from back. That's a long time since I heard their stuff. But I know they kept separate. So we had the skinheads and the Nazis. They hung out by themselves. All the rest of the metalheads, didn't matter what you were, we partied.
We grew up different, you and I.
Probably. I'm so happy for early 90s metal. It was dying everywhere. So we were like the underground.
I think the issue is that metal, like many other things, is overwhelmingly white. And it's an opportunity thing. It's that artists of other races don't get play, don't get opportunity, don't get record contracts, and don't get a lot. you have some diversity in
Well,
metal.
like you have your Death Angel, you got your Asians, you got Chuck Billy, my hero of heroes, big giant native dude. You have Sepultura, although they're Brazilian and Portuguese, kind of white, they're pretty dark. You know what I mean? There's these different little things always thrown in. Certain bands hire
Yeah,
other bands, but for me, it was body count that was the turning factor of all of it. They were the first band to like successfully just rip through pretty much everything they came across. People accepted them really fast. Obviously, not everyone, but like I said, just from my group, everyone rushed out and got their Cop Killer CD. Then they came into the stores and took them all down. For the only time in my entire life I ever knew cops to go into music stores and actually take CDs off shelves. Of course, that's probably one of the reasons it became appealing to us, because then we had to bootleg all our copies of Cop Killer at one point.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no denying the whiteness and the maleness.
No,
metal.
and unfortunately, the way the world goes, they look at the world, old white guys take care of each other. Well, it's probably true. So they're thinking we're only going to do the same thing. But there's way more of us now than they are of the scumbags that are putting a whole damper on this. How's that a good way of putting it? There's still way more of us.
I mean,
that are
I hope
willing
that's
to accept
the case.
anyone.
I believe that, and the
Maybe it's a
establishment
Toronto
hopefully
thing
does
again.
too.
I don't know, but I do know that I've watched Body Count play across Europe, and when they scanned into the crowds, I didn't see everyone giving them the finger. I seen people getting right into their music, so they're weird kind of haters if they are.
Yeah.
Sadly, I wish there was more than Body Count to go on, but what am I supposed to do? All the other bands that are mixed aren't as big.
And that's the opportunity thing. It's just that's the way
I'm
it
hoping
is.
that changes, because quite frankly, I just want my metal to be good metal, and I couldn't give a damn who made it, who listens to it.
Yeah.
I'm open for everyone.
Yeah, everyone's welcome. That's the thing. Hopefully, that most metal shows have in common.
And I guess that's the part that I didn't even include in me how racist people thought it was. Because once again, when me and my buddies were doing it, people of any race, there weren't too many, but they're always welcome to join and party. And, didn't even occur to us that we knew like I said, we knew the other group that we had to fight. As long as we kept them at bay, why would we care about anything else?
Yeah.
So
hopefully things like all other aspects of society are starting to change. You get, there's some diversity. Matt from Trivium is Asian American. There are people.
see, it's sad
also,
that we have to sit there and think about it, though.
Yeah,
it does make
about who they are.
that proves the
Joey
point
from
right there.
Anthrax.
Well,
He's
yeah, and
also
even things like
indigenous.
Anthrax themselves, when they got together with Public Enemy, that was such a big, oh no, what are they doing? So
Yeah, that's an interesting collaboration at that time.
well, it was right after Run DMC and Aerosmith, though, so it wasn't
Yeah.
like the big thing, because they just got away with it a few years back. But Aerosmith's not metal.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Bring the Noise is that's a great collaboration. I mean,
well, I'm sad because right when that came out, I started joining the metalhead, so we all started hating rap together collectively. So I couldn't get
your
into Bring
mind
the
was
Noise.
closed.
Yes, not to color or skin, to anything but metal. Death to all but metal.
Well, yeah. Well, let's dive into the other half of that, the male side of it.
Yeah, that's a big one. But I also got blessed because once again, growing up, there was a lot of girls that hung out with us. Here's the weird thing, though, that we got the emo punk goth chicks more than actual metal chicks. We did have a ton of them in our group, but very few of them, like most of them, would rather listen to the Smiths than Slayer. So
I mean,
but they accepted us as metalheads, and they love this. I think that's the only reason that they hung out with us, because all of us had this.
But to say that women don't like metal, I think that's a misconception. I know a lot that do. I've been to lots of concerts with lots of women who are bigger fans of the bands even than me.
But don't forget, put yourself into the mind frame of the 80s when this all hit first, and it was all males. Like I said, even by early 90s, when I was going to the metal concerts, it was sausage fest as far as the eye could see for so many of them.
Which some bands are still the case today. But you go to things like, you go to a Metallica show today, you're going to see around 50-50.
I went to Megadeth, and I would give them 30 at best.
Well, I'm going to Megadeth soon, so I'll report back on the current state of affairs.
The difference, but you're still going to see majority men, no matter how you look at that. Don't forget though,
But-
as we get older, we all have wives. The wives like to come along because guys don't like to go out of the house. So if a guy's willing to go to the house, a wife's probably going to go to a concert she doesn't even want to because most guys are lazy and don't even want to leave the house.
Well, most is an interesting term, but to say that women
lot?
don't like metal,
How's
I think
that?
is wrong.
No, I agree.
And that's the
We're
thing that I think is the misconception there. Is that
Luckily, there's
women
been
don't like metal.
pioneers, especially in the symphonic community. Arch Enemy was definitely the one that always comes to mind, even though it's the different singer, which I'll still give her credit. She sounds pretty damn close to the first singer. So, but Arch Enemy is always the band that comes to mind when I think of women taking over metal.
I mean,
not taking over, but really going full
being
force
involved.
into it.
But that being said, though, the representation of women in the musicians is shockingly low.
Oh yeah. Well, come on. In the 80s, we had
Very,
Pat Benatar.
very low.
That was it. Pat Benatar. That was the closest thing you had to a woman in metal in the 80s. I'm exaggerating, but only by so much.
Yeah, so you could, again, it's the opportunity thing. You could see more women in metal because, they can wail too.
It's becoming more open. And you heard
Alice Cooper's guitarist now, lead guitar, is a woman, and she's very good.
Yeah, he also brought his daughter on stage for the last time I saw him, and she licked his face. Sick, twisted freaks. Bad Alice Cooper. His real daughter.
I don't know that we need some fact checking.
Fact check that fact all you want. I saw that concert. He told us all that was his daughter, and then she licked his face. What more facts do you want? It was in front of my eyes.
I'm pretty sure we were at the same show even before we knew each other, and I don't remember that happening.
Well, he made a very big deal about it. He was not singing the part that this is my daughter, and she licked his face.
All right, we'll fact check this, and
I spent a good hour after that concert going, ew.
Yeah, I don't know that happened because I was also there.
I guarantee it. In fact, let's bet pinkies.
Oh, we have a Jason guarantee.
I just bet my pinky on it.
Does that mean we cut it off?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not putting up my fingers.
I'm not putting up my pinky. That's how certain I am on this one. I've never put up my pinky on anything before.
Wow.
This was new for me too.
I don't even know what to say.
No, you don't. But we'll end it on that because I think we covered all the basis. If there's
I would though add, if you're interested in more information on a lot of these topics, there's a really great book by a guy named Ian Christie called The Sound of the Beast, the complete history of the complete headbanging history of heavy metal.
Oh, nice.
And it's one of the best nonfiction books that I've ever read. And it's really great because I can read.
No, because you like metal, freak show.
Oh, I think if you don't like metal, it's also an interesting read. If you just like kind of anything, it's very well written. It's super interesting. Lots of facts I didn't know before I read it, and needless to say, there's a lot of Metallica in it, so I like it.
I know I have the Heroin Diaries somewhere around here. I don't know if I necessarily recommend it, but
well-written book, Sound of the Beast. If you want more info on a lot of these. But
like I said, I brought up the Heroin Diaries because you can get a lot of info on those bands too. It's just probably the very bad info.
Well, you make your own choices of what you read.
Notice I didn't recommend it to you.
Well, no.
Okay, so we're gonna be checking out Sabaton's new album, getting this video out, and then doing a review on it. So I think we're good for now. We got across a bunch of misconceptions. Hopefully, it helped people get over stuff. As usual, we only care so much.
And because it's a video on YouTube, you need to like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, you take care of that. I'm still not caring as much point.
Put hate in the comments, or if you agree, which is unlikely. So
just bring the hate.
Feel free, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Pit.
Into the pit.